Art has always been a part of me, particularly with my heart that I loved. I thought I was so good at it, something only for me. But lately, it feels like art has decided to leave me. And once part of my heart becomes heartbreaking, because what if I was not blessed by art after all? What if I wasn't ever gifted at all? What if it was all a trick of my lonely heart? What if art has decided to leave me after all, decided I wasn't worth it? Maybe I wasn't one of the chosen after all. I looked for art everywhere I went, always trying to talk more into my heart, hoping it'd fill me up forever. However, I think art has decided it doesn't need to be a part of me. It has gone on to inhabit somebody else and left me bereft atop my desolated earth. Has the love I held so dearly slipped from my fingers? This is a poem I wrote recently. Well, sort of a poem. Rhymes have never been my thing. I'm much more versed in prose, pun intended. It began last year, when I first struggled to pick colors for a portrait. I stared at the reference. I knew the colors like I always had. I knew their names, knew their origins, understood them like I understood words, but then, when I turned around to pick the colors, I had no idea which to pick. Huh, that's strange, I thought, if a bit panicked. I know these colors. This is turquoise, and that's vermilion, and that's violet, that's sienna, and that's magenta, and that... And I stared at the picture again, then at the pastels in their capes. It was as if I had lost half of a piece of the puzzle. I knew their names, I'd picked them out of a bunch, but could no longer see them together, understand them within the group. I could see the colors in the reference picture, but when I looked at the pastel case, it was like seeing a palette of grays. I was lost. Or maybe it began before that, when I stopped doing my own art for more than a year. Or maybe it was after that, with that huge portrait as I struggled to mix the paints and overlay them in a way that made sense. Or when I tried to work on the other portrait and froze when my face did not look like mine. It doesn't matter, either way. The result was the same. Whatever the reason, it seemed I had lost the ability to perceive with artist eyes. You could say that happened. Could this be called artist block? Aren't artist blocks just like mental blocks? No idea or desire to make art? Not plain losing your skills kind of issue? I was confused and scared. I quickly began to fear the blank canvas, the empty page. Before I knew it, I stopped drawing entirely. Well, truth be said, I had stopped long before that. Can't really say when I became a machine for homework. It was a process. You received the indications, sat down to work for a couple of hours, turned it in, and got a good score. Like the branded good student I've always been. But I didn't draw my own art anymore. It became class art. Art for the teachers, art to pass the classes and get it over with. At some point, I must have lost sight of what I was doing and why I even started in the first place. Art has different emotional significance to everyone. To me, it's about bringing stories to life. Storytelling is at the core of everything I do and enjoy. When my own art became a mere product of the machinery that is the education system, dull and meaningless, my soul must have slowly began to dim. It is now 2024. This started quite some time ago. I'm still struggling to just art. Just weeks ago, I dreaded the idea of sitting down on my desk to work on an art piece for hours. I couldn't face the paper. I couldn't bear the possibility of failure, the rejection surely to come from my own mind. So I do other things, still trying to learn in some way. I make more jewelry, I try my hand at wire wrapping, I square stitch another charm design to sell. I make cute and funny and mystical figurines in clay, the sort I like to think art people forget them. I journal to keep my screws on, of course. I reread books and write my own for hours at a time. I try to find something new to watch with a riveting story and captivating characters. I read new books. I study. I watch interesting videos on YouTube, mostly analysis or theories of some kind. I failed at making another ring. It's fine. It's fine. I began sewing classes, which reignites that long-waiting dream of being a fashion designer. Ideas sparked in my mind, starbursts behind my eyelids that light up a way back to a sketchbook. I draw patterns, mock-ups, silly sketches of what might be. An apron, to start with. I really can't afford more clothes getting painted, glue, and mysterious stains on them. The sewing machine is simple, and it purrs gently as I coax it to follow my pace. I can just focus on following the lines. There is no stress or fear of failure in this. There was just me and the machine working with each other. And then, my gift of nature, perhaps, ideas flood into my mind. Randomly, of course. I'm not thinking of it right now. But one day, I just can't get the idea of drawing this girl eating in her kitchen while on a phone call out of my mind. I stay up until 1 a.m. sketching the draft on Procreate. A week later, I wake up one day with an urge. I want to draw portrait studies with those paints I got in Japan. I've been wanting to use them. Wait, have I? Yes, I have. I can't stop thinking of making more paintings with them. I guess even when I can't bear the thought of making art, the desire still lives in me, quietly scratching at my walls, just waiting for the right moment. So for the first time in months, I sit down to paint. Out of my own volition, a nature-born desire. No motivation or reason behind it. Just me wanting to paint. So I picked some references for portraits with nice lighting and somewhat challenging postures. The sketch is the worst hurdle to get over. I must tell myself repeatedly that I must continue, even though I can count the mistakes and point them out, and it's driving me insane that the face doesn't look quite right. I power through it, despite the deep-seated, painful awareness that the face is not her face. It's a face, but not the right one. Still, stepping away from the sketches, a breath of life. I lay out the colors, the brushes before me, and start with some light washes of paint to locate the shadow. It's hours before I look at the clock. I spent the entire day doing that one portrait study, and I actually enjoyed it. When I finally stopped focusing to truly observe the page, I'm glad to say that I could smile at it. It wasn't perfect, of course, but that's not the nature of these paints either. It's exactly why I love them. I used Gansai-tami, a Japanese traditional paint, similar to watercolor but quite different in action. It's more like gouache. You can never quite predict how the final product will look. The paints do what they want to do. And it gives an unexpected quality of life to the painting. The colors mesh together in spots, and it almost looks like I painted the veins under her skin. Really, it's just the paint doing its own magic. Part of what I love about traditional Japanese art is that one of the bases for it is accepting that you must let go of the illusion of control over your tools. You'll never control the entirety of the result because the paints and mediums used are unpredictable. In a sense, you're a tool for the paints too. It might not have been perfect, but to me, it seemed better than most homeworks I had done in the past years. There truly is something to be felt in artworks. A soulless work that came from no personal desire or reason will not speak. It may be perfect, but it will be empty. I'd take this imperfect portrait study over any of those perfect homeworks I've done any day. Those pictures have nothing in them. No love or joy went into making them. I look at them, I can feel that something's missing. They're lacking. Even though they're technically perfect, they're not whole. And so, can they really be called perfect? Plain truth is, studying art in university is hard. There's a lot of pressure coming from every side possible. Expectations are high, and consequences of failure potentially disastrous. People outside of the art community look down on us because they think it's a walk in the park. Sure, it's no astronomical physics, and there are no lines of instructions that result in a program that solves equations. There's no memorization of laws and the penal code, and there's no putting my hands into someone's guts to save their lives. There's just us, our minds, and our hands. No formulas to follow and understand to lead you to a result. No information to memorize to lead you to a path with conclusions and solutions. There is nothing to guide you but yourself. It's just you, your skills, and that empty page. Art is about courage, in the end, I think. You take a leap of faith, not knowing where it might lead, but you take it bravely, despite the fear, because you enjoy the freefall. You know the fall is going to reveal all about you. During the fall, everything you are is put to the test and out in the open. Your insides are to be exposed if you don't land right, and you might be called an idiot for taking the leap. If you don't land right, you might not get a chance to leap again. To make art, you must be prepared to look inside yourself, grab a piece and put it out into the world. It doesn't matter where the art came from, whether the art came from your soul or not, whether it is good or bad, whether you like it or not, it will be judged regardless of it all. That piece of you put out there is now free to receive judgment and criticism from an entire world. The canvas, the pages, are just vessels for that little piece of us that we set out into the world like paper boats in a stream. It's one of the things that teachers say to newbies. This is no walk in the park. If you're expecting easy pass classes, you should change majors now. Art is not for the weak. It's arduous work and effort, and time spent criticizing others and yourself. If you're not strong enough to bear it, you maybe should consider something else. Sounds a bit harsh, right? They're not far off though. Art is not brawn or brain, rather it's the heart. After all, everyone starts art because there is something they want to express. It has always been born from the heart, from emotions. As such, there is a balance. For the joy of it, you'll have to enjoy the suffering. It's like that one quote from Harry Potter. You will suffer, but you'll be happy about it. I could talk for hours, philosophize about art, its meaning, its origin and purpose. All the art theory we study is at least some food to both mind and heart. But I'm not going to do that today. If somebody asked me now if I'd recommend art school, I'd probably say it depends. It's hard work and heartbreaking. You'll need strength for it, and mostly not the physical kind, though there may be the occasional rock to lift and sculpt. There's nothing you can't learn anywhere else. It's more about the experience and connections than anything else. I don't regret, I think. I hope I never do. I'm afraid every day, but I don't regret. If you can picture yourself doing it for years, feeling stuck, bearing the frustration and insecurities, the criticism, the pressure, and everything else, go ahead. Study and create in your own time, outside of classes and homework. Don't let yourself be sucked entirely into them or you'll vanish. Shortly, if you want the scenic, dramatic route and can afford it, go for it. If you want the zen, calm route, monk style, learn on your own. Either way, I think in the end, it's something you'll look back to with a smile. Aristotle said that art was a way to learn. It's how we familiarize ourselves with the world since we were small. It shaped how we began to see and understand reality since we were toddlers. It is born from our thirst for knowledge and comprehension of our surroundings. I say, if art that comes from the soul is devalued over a copy of an object, is that just another reflection of how the product is now worth more than the individual? We become just another cog in society to work the machines and become indifferent from each other? The industry, the company, are worth more than the individual that makes them work. The cogs are just cogs in a machine. One is gone and another one replaces it. I don't want to be a cog. I want to operate my own machine. I refuse to be anything but me. Diary entry number 1. Concluded. Thank you for watching. Hey, future me here. Thanks so much for watching the first entry in a sort of art student vlogs. If you want to see me paint, draw, sculpt, DIYs, or play games, subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of stuff. Don't forget to like and comment. I wish you were having a good day, night, or whatever it is where you are. Bye!